Hi everybody, this is an example of how the police are preying on healthy human instincts for no other reason than revenue gathering, because they've got nothing to do with public safety. I'm talking about, in particular, healthy driving instincts, which are sort of embedded in us. These are the instincts that respond to road conditions above all other things. And further on in the video, when you see the ludicrous examples of speed signage in Northland roads anyway, you'll see how much we need these healthy driving instincts, and how the last thing we need is police trapping motorists at a safe speed, undermining community goodwill and cooperation. If the police are aware of what they're doing, then they know that they're involved in police entrapment and theft. Such an example of a speed trap is the very early 50 km/h speed zone when entering Kaikoke from the south, which starts about 1 kilometre from the town, whereas the 50 km zone from the Rawene northwest side starts within about 100 metres of the town, and where you can see the beginning of the main street. The only reason for the 1 kilometre to 50 km speed zone when entering Kaikoke from the south: a preschool well out of town that is open during daylight hours and when slower speed zone is warranted. But of course teams of police lie in wait in the dark hours, robbing people that are travelling at 60 km/h on farmland roads at night. Well after the 50 km speed zone is started south of Kaikoke, we still see rural farmland and paddocks and wide parking area on both sides of the road. Still farmland about 300 metres past the Whiz Kids sign, proving that the very early 50 km/h speed zone sign, compared to most country towns, including the entrance to North Kaikoke, is only, yet rightfully, all about the safety of kids. But should an unusually early, daytime purpose only, 50 km/h speed zone, with reasons that the police are fully aware of, be used as an aggressive police entrapment revenue ambush at night? Nighttime motorists do not see a reason for the 50 km/h speed sign, because they see wide farmland road but don't see a pedestrian cross or the preschool sign. We could just as easily have a 50 km/h speed zone sign that is labelled from 6 AM to 6 PM, but that would just be complicating things really. I mean, it's better to just rely on police not to go out and exploit loopholes in the signage and rob people. Trapping people basing their speed on speed signs, road conditions and common sense is plain and clear police entrapment. What are we to take our eyes off the road, ignore other motorists' speed and constantly look at our speedometers whenever we see a speed zone? Do the police or general public want fearful robots who dare not use their own judgment or instincts to assess road conditions driving on New Zealand roads? This video is about showing how powerful human instincts are when it comes to responding to road conditions, and my submission is that human instincts are more powerful in relation to road conditions than the influence of signs about how fast to go on the road are, especially in Northland, because the road signs are shocking and out of date and comical, ridiculously comical. My submission is also that the police are well aware of how this human instinct to respond to road conditions overrides speed signs, and that is why they specifically set their speed traps where human instinct will override the speed signs. If you can accept this submission about police preying on human instincts, then you'll see it as nothing more than police entrapment. And the rest of the video is just about showing the ludicrousy of the signage in Northland, proving that in so many instances motorists do have to respond to instincts and not the signs. Okay, we're on Paponga Road heading towards Broadwood. We're about 4 kilometres out, maybe 5. And there's a speed zone here at 100 km/h. So we're going down a hill, and we've got wet road, and we've got corners straight away after the 100 km/h sign. School advertised here. Okay, not too long afterwards we come across a 70 km/h zone, even though we're right next to a school. So this is entirely different. Obviously the value of life in this school is far less than the value of life in the Kaikoke preschool, which you're only supposed to do 50 km/h there. But seriously, 70 km/h around a school with his kids playing and running across the road is way too fast, at least during daylight hours. And perhaps they can really start looking at putting a time zone beneath these signs. So we're just leaving Broadwood now, and we've got the green light to do 100 km/h, so let's have a look at the road conditions. Straight away the first thing you'll see is we've got a corner going down a hill on a wet road, and we've also got a one-lane bridge, but still 100 km/h is what we're allowed to do. The speed signage towards Rawene is also equally ridiculous, with the 100 km/h sign appearing and then immediately afterwards a whole pile of corners, and then a 70 km/h speed zone right next to the hospital where a number of frail people leave by foot.